Hi guys. Sorry about my voice. Welcome to the Monday Live. Monday is the best day of the week, guys. We get to start Monday right. And I've got a few questions from you guys in regards to my spiritual practices, like my daily routine and spiritual practices. So watch for a video on that. I'm going to do a video on that. Again, my teachings, my spiritual practices and beliefs are not against any religious beliefs that I know of. Definitely not against Christianity, Islam, any of the Judeo-Christians religions. They're not against that. You can integrate it with your belief in God and with prayer instead of, more ritualistic things. So please take from this the positive mindset, the group energy and support. People in every religion come together and pray together, and there is something about doing things in a group of people versus alone that will take you to the next level. I have seen it in my own life. The people in my group have seen it in their own life. If you want to join me, the 60-day challenge is in my bio, and the group link is also in my bio. Thank you for joining. I always go live on Monday at 12 p.m. I always say that I'm gonna go live another day in the week, but I never get a chance. The markets have been busy. I'm active in like the stock market and all sorts of things. I have another business on the side, so this is why it's not how much I value you guys all the time, and I think about you all the time. So I just sometimes I'm not able to keep more than one appointment with you guys per week. Hey. Okay, so I think we can get going. What's really strange is TikTok and its algorithm doesn't seem to like me anymore. I'm thinking maybe I'm gonna switch platforms. I don't know what happened, honestly. So for example, I reposted a video that I had on how to manifest the ideal man or something, and TikTok put this violates community guidelines, which I found was so strange. There was nothing controversial about, anything. Yeah, it's been happening to a lot of creators, but I'm not talking about, not growing on the platform, or I'm talking about there's nothing in my content that could possibly violate any community. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't have controversial opinions on anything, how to manifest ideal man, take a piece of paper and write down, like there's no way that violates community guidelines. So I don't really know what's going on in the TikTok world. I think maybe they try to switch to having videos more like on different format, to put ads on it, and that didn't take off very well because nobody was watching those videos. So I really I don't know, it's weird, but if they put me in the TikTok jail and they tell me my content violates community guidelines, then I can't work with that anymore. They just want TikTok shop. Yeah, I don't have any face creams to sell or anything like that on the TikTok shop. I teach women how to achieve more happiness. That's how I see my content, and men are definitely, I'm happy for them to participate if they want to, but the content is more geared towards women, and it's geared towards, how can I be happier in relationships, make more money, and it's really a mindset content, and with the acknowledgement of this formless, invisible energy that supports life. Okay, it's not, there's no way we're just some biological suits spinning on a rock in space. There's no way. Let's see. I don't want to stay too long on that, but I'm telling you guys that, I think I'm going to try to do a live this week on my YouTube. I'll announce it. I've never done a live on YouTube. So, I don't know, maybe that I'll be more appreciated, on a different platform. Is your 60-day challenge a one-time payment? It's a one-time payment. Yeah, I wanted to create something affordable for everybody, no, long term. I do have a group, and people in my group have been in my group since I started it, the majority of them, which is last summer, because they keep seeing the benefit. But if you're doing the 60-day challenge, which is obviously 2 months, please commit to being in a group for 2 months, just because we have daily practices. So this last weekend in the Facebook group, we had a live, which I thought was great. We like we dived into more esoteric topics, and then on Sunday we had the new moon ritual. It's the only ritual we have. The new moon I use as just as an event, monthly event, to reset our energy. We do a group meditation every new moon at 8 p.m. How did you guys feel after yesterday's group meditation? I fasted yesterday and I felt, I was feeling a bit dizzy by the end of the day. Luckily I know a few people did the fasting also because it coincides with Ramadan, so a lot of people are fasting anyways. If you enjoy the meditation, it was a reset mindset for money. And it was just this money thing, like we accept the money energy as being neutral and we want to transmute it into good. We want money because we want to contribute, right? We want to improve our lives. We want to improve everybody's life. And it is the inherent nature of life to seek out to live more. So when you want more money, please remind yourself that that is a normal thing. It's a normal thing because life inside you seeks out to have more experiences and to just have more experiences. And in order to have more experiences in this life, you need money, because that's just the way they structured society. So am I crying? No, what are you talking about? Are you guys okay? I do have like a lingering cough. I don't know what's going on, so maybe that's why you're thinking I'm crying. No, I'm not. I don't know what's happening with my voice. I just want to see. I successfully did not react to a trigger inside yesterday and I felt a huge shift. I love this. I could not sleep and woke up feeling down. Valerie, I think for you, I want you to just maybe try less, because I think like you're in this work a lot, which is great, right? But you want to achieve a balance between doing the work and not putting that kind of pressure on yourself. Right? So remember, this work is about doing the work, letting go, doing the work, letting go, doing the work. And in that delay that your manifestation is about to come, or you've changed your mindset and something has to change, you really can't think about it anymore. This is a very important part of the practice, is once you do the practice, and when we do this meditations, what I do, and one tip I'm going to give you guys, once I do the meditation and I know I've, set myself up and I put the intention out there, I just go and read like a novel, or I just go and do something to completely take my mind off what I've been doing, So once I do the 8 p.m. meditation, because I know I shot it out there into space and it's there, it's in the formless substance, and now I can relax. So just to take your mind off it, do not be obsessive about this work. It will work in reverse if you become obsessive about it. By the way, if you woke up feeling down, later today, I'm going to post my spiritual practices of the day. This doesn't take a long time. It just takes a few minutes in the morning and a few minutes at night. I want you guys, if you want to mirror them, a lot of people have asked me, and I wake up and I purposely go in the state of gratitude, but I'll teach you how to do it. I'll teach everybody and I'll post a video about it. So please watch for that. And I think it's going to help a lot of people. Alyssa felt very good after the meditation. It was amazing. You fasted the whole day, meditated, and feel amazing. That's amazing. Let's see. Sometimes changing your toothbrush. I just changed it. Somebody else told me that coincidentally last week, and I just changed it. Paulina got on the dating apps. Guys, there's a dating. So I want to, before anybody who's on dating apps, okay? If you're part of my group, not this live that I did on Saturday, the previous live, I think I explained the whole dating process on dating apps. And I want you guys to do it my way, okay? My way produces results. It produced results for me. It produced results for other people in my friendship group, other people in my online group. And the reason it produces results is that time waste is to a minimum. And also the impact on your heart is to a minimum. There's no such thing as online dating. There is an online process to meet people that you otherwise wouldn't have had access to. Listen to that again. You're not online dating. You're going through a process to have access to people. The dating starts the moment you meet them in person. And when you meet them in person, you're going to begin to act as if you met them somewhere else, okay? The most key element is the moment you meet them in person and they have your contact information, you're going to block them on the app. If you keep them on the app, it's like you're online dating, right? You can't be on the app. They saw you were active. You saw he was active. You're like, if you met a guy in the grocery store, you wouldn't know if he's on an app or not. You wouldn't derive interpretations on what he's doing on the app. Why is he like, he's still looking for other women, even though we kissed? I might want to look for other men. And, so block them immediately, okay? And see your dating process as commencing once you met in person and you exchange telephone numbers. That's my number one tip about the online process. I don't even want to call it online dating. And you're going to be successful if you look at it as a numbers game of meeting people. Your dating, again, starts, and the way you should measure them is obviously their behavior towards you. Just imagine you met them in a bookstore. How would you measure that guy? You would not measure him on his online activity. You'd measure him on how he treats you, his behavior towards you. That's it. Before you met them, you're not dating them. You're not dating them. You're not connecting emotionally with them. Don't do any of that stuff. Do it right. Do it my way. Mona, my SP from over a year ago, is back in touch. Yeah, that will happen, especially when you do my challenge and you start your affirmations and you do them generally. What I advise women who are single to do, all men, past, present, and future, all of them. So my value saw me as a high value woman. They all wanted to marry me. They were all crazy in love with me. All men. And what will happen, the ones that you still have an energetic connection with will feel that and will definitely be back in touch. What kind of belief would manifest bad work environment, rude managers? The belief that you have to trade your life for a salary. That you have to effectuate that your existence on earth is not going to be supported. Okay? Even though the creator created you, your existence, you have to earn your right to exist, your right to eat, you have to earn it. And in this conflict, okay, of I have the right to exist, but I can't really exist unless I put myself through some sort of intellectual prostitution, Sometimes a work environment is really intellectual prostitution because you're thinking, I have to accept this in order to survive in the world. Once you're in that process of intellectual prostitution, because you're devaluing yourself really, your environment will reflect that. Let's see. What app did you like when you're dating? I was only on match.com. I wouldn't have done anything like Tinder or anything. Bumble I find very unnatural. I would never approach a man. I find I would not want to be with a man that I have to approach. So I was only on match.com. I have no association with them. If you want to try it. Also, I would not be on an app where it's free to be on the app. You understand? Because if it's free for the man to be on the app, he's not really serious, in my opinion. If he's not even going to invest $30 a month in meeting people, that tells me he's just in a fling state. Or stage, rather. It just might be his fling stage. So the man I'm engaged with now, my fiance, whom I love dearly, before he got on match.com, he had a stage where he was on Tinder, but he told me he was on Tinder just because he wasn't ready for anything. And he actually told me, yeah. And then, I was meeting just, flings. And then I wanted something more serious. So I looked into other apps. It's interesting. He told me that without me giving him this perspective. So I would definitely be on a paid app, guys. If I was dating again, knock on wood. Knock on wood. All right. One more thing logistically I want to talk about, and that is dreams. Somebody, we talked about this on Saturday, but somebody just sent me a question. It says, Mona, I had a question. I'm doing the second round of the 60-day challenge and very much enjoyed it. With regards to the dream log, which is part of the 60-day challenge, I have not yet made an entry, as either I don't dream or have no recollection of me dreaming when I'm awake. Thank you and all the best. So I'm going to say to this person, to this queen, it is it is very unusual to not dream on your second time of the 60-day challenge. So I want you guys who not dreaming to check all the logistics first. The logistics of when do you eat. You're not supposed to be digesting food while you're sleeping. Don't drink alcohol before you go to bed. Okay, so anything that has to do with food digesting, drink 4 hours before bed. Stop eating it. And then another thing is, unfortunately, is medication. But do not stop taking your medication without speaking to your doctor if you can change the hour at which you can take your medication. Okay, so if your doctor is okay with you taking it much earlier than going to bed, only then, right? But medication is proven to affect sleep, so it might be something like this. Oh, Jay had her first lucid dream recently. That's so good. Oh my god, I have them maybe like once a month now, and I'm telling you, it's the most incredible feeling. There are many videos and books that teach you how to start lucid dreaming out there on YouTube and on the internet. So if you guys are interested in this, I promise you, in your first lucid dream, you're going to feel like you've extended your lifetime, right? Because you're really living while you're sleeping. You're conscious that you're dreaming and that you have all this power. So lucid dream is like you wake up in the dream, you know it's a dream, but you're in complete control. So in one of my lucid dreams, what I did is like, I'm just dreaming right now. This is beautiful. It was just a street just like this. I could see all the details. I'm like, I'm just gonna jump in front of this bus because I know nothing can kill me. I want to see what this feels like. And I did it. Fully conscious as I would be now, right? The bus went right through me and I was like, I didn't really feel anything. I'm like, this is great and amazing. And so, it's just like an incredible, it's indescribable unless you've had it, you know, to be able to understand really. It's like living another life. So try it if you guys want to try techniques. Like, I don't teach them, but there's so much information out there about how to start lucid dreaming. It's really not for somebody who doesn't dream anything or whose dream doesn't make sense. But if you're a dreamer and you're not afraid of the dream world, doing these practices to start lucid dreaming could be amazing. Why, when we want to start something that we want to change, another force starts opposing? This is a very pertinent question. Did you guys ever feel that? When I got into this work about 2014, so 10 years ago, okay? 10 years ago, when I was reading a book on the subject, and I read so many books. By the way, if you're on my book recommendations, it's at the top of my page. I have them divided into intro books and like basic books, and then more detailed books. When I was reading one of these books, and I'm a reader, I couldn't focus. I couldn't, like, you know, if I'd read a novel, I could be completely lost in the novel, or a business book, which I read a lot of business books. But if the moment I got in this information, you know, it was so hard. It was exactly what you're describing. It's like a force is trying to stop you. And the reason why this happens, my theory is collective consciousness and the powers in our world, the powers of this world, of this 3D reality, do not want us to switch our view on the world, okay? They want us to feel we got to do our part in the world, the 9 to 5. We got to contribute to the economy. We got to be fearful we might lose our job. We got to live a certain way. We got to pay our mortgage. You got to pay the interest. We got to do all those things, right? So the moment you kind of got this information that you could be more, that you could have more, that you don't really have to work this hard, that you can attract love. They want you to be lonely and single, by the way, because lonely single people spend a lot more, right? And then they also work. So, you know, if you have two people together, maybe one doesn't work and doesn't pay taxes. But if everyone's single, that's great. So, there is an underlying current. So when you make the structure of the world the way they've made it, every structure takes on an energetic form. And imagine, like, at least 80% of the world, probably 90% of the world lives this way in their structure. And because they live in their structure, they exert an immense amount of energetic release that all the rest of us are feeling. So it's like swimming against the current. When the current goes this way, right? Because you're part of the collective. You can't escape it, by the way. When your current goes this way and you're trying to read, you're trying to do practices, you're trying to integrate other information, it will be violently hitting you, right? Sometimes with events in 3D that you're like, oh my God, I better stop this because my life is actually getting worse. You might lose your job. You might, like, your husband might leave you. You might be like, what have I done? You know, what have I done? I should have stayed where I was even now, and I was not happy. But for me, it happened. I could not, and I was fighting with myself intellectually and otherwise. I was like, Mona, what's going on? You know, I'm like, look at this book, be here, like, you know, my mind was like all over the place, and I'm not an anxious person, and it was none of that. It was just the force that you're talking about. The answer is you just got to swim against it. At some point it will release you. It has to, right? Because your will and free will reigns supreme. It will have to, but you will meet that wall. Valentina, thank you for that question, because I think it could help a lot of people who are feeling the same thing. Paulina had a hard time falling asleep last night. Yeah, so a lot of us are more sensitive. So when we do the new moon and we connect to the group, essentially we feel the group energy, right? So essentially we have to process the energy. Is just information. So we have to process that information through our body of energy. This is why it's important. This is why everybody who's in our group has to have this intention. I hold this intention for everybody. I get on the meditation before, and when I'm envisioning the circle, I don't allow any negative intentions, but I don't think anybody would pay to be in my group just to put negative intentions there. So, but you do process everyone's energetic signature. And depending on your state of sensitivity, it might rattle you a little bit, but it shouldn't. It ultimately has to put you on a better state. So let's see. How can I feel constantly good? I often feel the energy of others. It's exhausting for me. Yeah, you can't feel constantly good, Natalie. You can't feel. What you have to develop in this practice is the awareness of what you're feeling and the rejection of it, right? So like you're saying, you constantly feel the energy of others, right? If I walk in a place, like I walked into a nail salon once, and just the way they looked at me, and just the way, they weren't rude to me or anything, the energetic instinct in me said, get out. And I got out, right? So you have to stay away from all situations and people that put you in that state. Your awareness is key. Your awareness. Do not ever feel that through your energy. Am I back? Am I back, guys? Somebody called me. Especially if you're a sensitive person, in your energetic field, you cannot allow others to process this information, okay? Like others that just connect to you. We're all connected to this large matrix. You just gotta understand that nobody can touch you. Nobody can do anything to you as long as you stay in awareness. If you get lost, if you disappear in the collective unconsciousness throughout the day, or rather the collective consciousness, right? If you disappear and if you go with that flow of this river, then they can affect you. Otherwise, they cannot affect you. Let's see. You have an interview soon. Any tips? Interview for a job? Yeah. You go in there, and I went in there and I did this since I graduated university. Every time I went to a first interview, I reminded myself I'm interviewing them as much as they're interviewing me. Do you understand? So the perspective is, the confidence comes from the fact that an interview is always a two-way interview. It's like a date. You want to know if I'm suited for the role. I want to know if I want to work here. Because so far, all I know is the job description and an approximate pay. But I don't know, like I have to look around. I have to feel comfortable with the person who's interviewing me. I got to see, is this company made up of assholes? I got to see what's going on. And I've had an interview. This is when I was just out of university, actually. I've had an interview where I went in there and I knew right away, again, just like with the nail salon, I felt uncomfortable with the energy with the person who interviewed me. He was very aggressive. He called me and he said, we want, like my boss, the owner of the company wants to see you. And I said, no, thank you. And they're like, what do you mean? Like we're actually prepared to go a little bit higher. Then, I said, I'm sorry, but he's just, an interview is like a two-way street. I didn't feel like the role was suitable for me. And so if you look at it from this perspective of, I'm interviewing them, really, it will put you in a different state of mind. That would be a tip for job interviews. It's been 2 years of manifesting my SP, little movement. Help. In the 2 years that you're manifesting your SP, you probably became obsessed with him. And the whole thing functions What you're trying to do is make him obsessed with you, but he can never be obsessed with you as long as you're obsessed with him. Okay, 2 years manifesting the SP means your focus is on the SP. Your focus is not on you. There's no way you're trying to manifest the SP. It doesn't. Go through my whole SP playlist and I explain how you have to think about it. By the way, I ended up with my SP and I never manifested my SP. I just let him go because I loved him and I said, I want him to have whatever the hell he wants. And meanwhile, I'm over here, loved and adored and high valued, and all men want to marry me, obviously, and just focusing on me. And sure enough, his energy picked up on that, and, but pay attention. I would have been okay with any man coming into my life that I could fall in love with that would bring the same value to marry that person. This is the difference. I wasn't stuck on the SP. See, this is a very distinct difference. If I am going to marry a man, I know for a fact I love him, he respects me, I respect him, there's a connection, we're socially a match, etc. So why would I not be okay with any man? My goal is to get married, okay? I know that I would only get married based on that criteria. So if I'm focusing on the outcome, it doesn't matter what man is there because I'd be in love with him, obviously. I wouldn't marry a guy I'm not in love with. See, you got to change your mindset rather than John Smith. John Smith, let me make a list, write his name 100 times, put it under my pillow with cinnamon. Guys, stop that. Stop that. That makes you obsessed. Let's see. Yeah, don't try to force it. Go through my SP list. I have a pretty good SP list. And do our 60-day challenge in my bio. Be part of our group. And you'll see the stories in our group are very, very favorable on obtaining love. Actually, this morning I approved a post and it was somebody who just started the 60-day challenge. And she said, I met a man who, somebody stole her purse or something and she had just met this guy. And basically he did everything possible to find her purse. I don't know, they were in a bar or a restaurant or something. Just the way he acted and the protectiveness he had towards her and what he's done to get back her purse and wallet was so incredible. And she goes like, I've never in my life experienced that. And I just want to thank you because, she was usually when people start doing my 60-day challenge, they're already familiar with my content. They're convinced they want to be part of this group. So, she goes like, I already had that information and saw things change in my life. And then when this thing happened, it told me it's the right thing to do. It's like, I've never been treated this good in my life. So you'll see things will shift around you and you'll shift with things like it happens in parallel, it happens simultaneously. Just don't become obsessive about this work. This is why I made this work like it's a one-time payment. It's the cost of a lipstick. It's just like, but you have to commit to it. You have to commit to it. Please do it. Please do it every single day and be part of the group. Listen to the lives, connect with other people in the group. Because this is how you grow your energy and this is how you integrate this information. Yeah, you have to separate yourself from the brain. Definitely. Brain is like the body. It's something that you have. And it's what I teach about the body. If you want a different body, you have to separate yourself from the body. The body is something that you have that will comply to your instructions, that you will shape whichever way you want. Who is you? Obviously not the body. The body is something that you have. So let's see. Oh, sorry. I just want to see. My dating apps are blowing up, Mona. Well, Polina, you've been doing the challenge for how long now? Like 30 days? See, it's your first time around, I'm sure. They're supposed to blow up. Be very careful, okay? When you meet people, do the process the way I tell you guys to do the process, not the way, people do the process. They write back and forth to a guy, like, they develop this emotional, we have such a connection. That's funny banter. He's so funny, ha ha ha. You meet him in person, he's like 20 years older. He's like 200 pounds heavier. He smokes, he stinks. You find out he's a dusty, he has no money, he's unemployed, and then that's after you, and then you're like, online dating doesn't work, I'm so hurt, this sucks. No, online dating works. You just haven't done the process right. You're supposed to meet him first before you develop this funny banter. Meet a man within the same week that you're talking to him, otherwise it's a scratch. Okay, let's see. Yeah, it's been 30 days. I'm glad, Paulina. Make sure you do the process right and report back. what's going on. I can't stop thinking about them, and it's been 10 months. Well, Theodora, this is what I would say. I'm assuming you're talking about a man. Sometimes when a relationship ends, not sometimes, but probably the majority of times, a relationship doesn't always end when the spiritual and emotional connection ends. Many times relationship ends socially. You understand? Or many times you fall in love with somebody because you haven't done the process correctly. It happened to everybody. It happened to me, right? And you fall in love, and then you discover A, B, C, and D that you know you can't be with that person, or they discover that about you, right? So this is why relationships should evolve in stages. But what society tells us to focus on is like, oh, I'm attracted to this person, and therefore we should be together. We have this chemistry, this amazing chemistry, and you consume that chemistry, but the relationship, emotionally, spiritually, the information that you have to process when two bodies come into contact, you understand, we talk about this a lot. The energetic information that you're exchanging has to be congruent. If it's not congruent, it's going to affect negatively your life and his life. Like, for example, if you want different things, right? If you really are doing this and we're hoping to chemically and sexually connect with someone to get married, and he's just looking for a chemically connection, sexual connection that feels good, but he's in no position to marry, right? Those are two different sets of information that are conflicting. Guys, pay attention to this. Okay, that's why I say you have to do your due diligence before exercising. It's not, ideally, you would not sleep with a man in the first 2-3 months of dating him. Ideally, I know that's, your guys are telling me, Mona, you're dreaming, but if you don't, then you're not gonna take on that information to process. You're not until you're sure. So, oh, your grandmother passed. I'm sorry, Queen. It's no problem restarting the challenge. And God rest her soul. For your grandmother, my condolences. Paulina says my stomach bloating has gone away. Yeah, you'll see a lot of changes physically with this challenge. Also, you'll have different, it's not necessarily that, like it's a magical component, although I think there is a little bit of that, but you'll want to do things differently as you're doing this work for some reason. Don't try to take apart a reason, pick it apart and try to understand it logically through your mind. Just accept that good things are happening and they can happen to you. I saw this guy out who I had a one-night stand with, and he just ignored me. I bet you that didn't feel good, Sophie, when you saw him and he ignored you and you knew you slept with him. This is why I'm telling you guys how to handle things. Very, very few women are able to have one-night stands and be okay. Before you have a one-night stand, actually, this was a good comment. Before you go ahead, because you feel like it in the moment, ask yourself, if I see this guy on the street next week and he ignores me because he's with another girl, would I be okay with that? And if you say, yeah, I'd be okay with that, I really just want to ride him tonight, then go for it. But if you know you wouldn't be okay with that, do not do it. Most women would not be okay with that. I met a man who treats me exactly how I want, but I don't feel the chemistry. Do I wait to see? Yeah, absolutely. Because sometimes you don't feel the chemistry with a man that treats you right because you are used to very toxic interactions that generate chemistry. You need me to say that again? It's about your system. If you're not stimulated a certain way, as in he acts cool, you don't know, and he's gonna text you, you don't know, and then you have this state of excitement inside of you because of all of these things. And then you meet a guy and he's consistent and he's kind of reliable and you're like, what's this? Your energetic system is not used to it. It's like, this is not what I like. This is not what puts me in that exciting state. This is not, you know what I mean? Okay. So this is what is happening to you. So sometimes it's not that you're not attracted to that guy. It's that you've been through so much toxicity that your system associates that, even though you intellectually want to be with this man, Your system associates that with attraction and with what you should be feeling, but that's only generated out of toxicity, out of intense feeling that always leaves you depleted at the end of the interaction. Isn't that the truth? So what I have noticed as I've gone through life and advanced in age and in life, and I've trained my system years ago to be attracted to a man only if I can respect him, right? If I can respect, like, I'm really not attracted to a man who doesn't have his life together, no matter what he looks like, because I don't see that as a manly thing. If you don't have your life together, if you're depressed, if you're, as a man, you can't lead me, you can't show me the next step in the relationship, the next step in life, what do I have to look up to? How can I be attracted to you? How can you be on top of me? Like, that doesn't make any sense, right? It means like I'd be like your mother. I'm the one who's leading. I'm the one who's planning. I'm the one who's executing. And what, he looks good? Then I'm the man and he's the woman. Like, you see what I mean? Let's see. Oh, we have people from New Zealand on this live. That's so cool. I just want to see if there's anything else. I have another topic. What value does dating have in the modern world full of seas of fishes that disappoints? What value does it have? The value is dating is not a thing in itself. You date to find a spouse, a partner, whatever you want to call it, a wife, a husband, somebody that can support you, that can bring joy to your life, that can give you a reason to live, right? If you're not already married or divorced, somebody who can give you children. What is the purpose of life? If you just exist alone and you go to work and you eat and you watch TV and you go to sleep and you don't contribute to anyone's life and you don't have anyone contribute to yours, and it's, do not see dating as something. Dating is just a step to get to a goal. What is your goal? Perhaps you don't have a goal. Perhaps that's what it is. Where can I read and do your work? Look in my bio, do the 60-day challenge in our bio, and participate in the group. I don't have any complicated, expensive things going on because I want to appeal to a lot of people. I want for you guys to derive the value of getting better. You have to get better. It's not a book you read and then you put aside and then, yeah, it kind of made sense, but you forget about it. You have to do the work with me every day. Let's see. Trinidad. Oh my God. Thank you guys for joining. Being happy like crazy. I'm searching. So instead of I don't understand that question. All right. I want to read another testimonial. Not testimonial. This is a question. And maybe this applies to a lot of women. Okay. This is a person who's been doing the work with me and has seen major changes. I don't know if she's on this live, but she's saying, I'm going through your TikToks and I'm realizing there's something conflicting in my psyche. At least I think a lot of women probably have the same conflicting belief. Perhaps you can comment on it. Let's see what it is. We all know we should focus on ourselves, center ourselves in our lives, physically, mentally, health-wise. For me, focusing on myself is directly associated with independence. Depending on someone means your focus goes to another person. Obviously, to attract a relationship, she says, you sort of have to let go of your independence. And I've been in relationships to know what you probably mean. I guess my question is, how do you focus on yourself and not associate it with independence? Obviously, we need a healthy amount of independence to feel like a whole person and a sense that we can bring value to someone's life. Where's the fine line? So the question really in this is, depending on someone means you focus on another person, and she's feeling like she would be letting go of that independence if she's doing that. So the whole premise is erroneous, right? Depending on someone means you're losing your independence. Number one, let me preface by stating, we as women are raised in this society with this idea that our independence is the number one thing that we should strive and achieve. And our independence is really going against everything that we've evolved to be, right? Nowhere in society was a person, especially a woman, independent of the society around her. A woman always had a support system. Families were a lot larger. Her support system were her parents, her siblings, her community. She never was completely independent and then saw a man as, you know, when a man comes into our life now, it's like, can he be my therapist? Can I talk to him about my past? Can I tell him all the times I was traumatized and abused? Can I do this with him? And then, you know, then later it's like, oh no, but I don't want to share my money with him, and I don't want him to pay for me, so all of this conflicting things that our mother's generation, our grandmother's generation, and all the women that came before them didn't have. This idea that independence is something, it's the ultimate goal. Okay, this is erroneous. You as a person, as a spiritual being, as a system, cannot be independent of the collective. Okay, it is just that you have to find a space in the collective that matches you, that's supportive of you, that you can depend on, right? So coming to cognitive dissonance in your mind where your independence is more important than having a system on which you can depend. It's really like this idea, it doesn't make any sense. So we women, we have to step away from this idea that being independent means we can depend, we shouldn't be looking to depend on someone. I'm looking to my support system around me, to my fiance, to my mother, to everyone in my family, to my friends. I'm looking to depend on them, right? Otherwise, there's no point for these people to be in my life. I need to be able to depend on them, and they need to be able to depend on me, or I want them to depend on me. I don't want them to be independent of me. You know, we're like a system together, and together there's power. Just like you're part of this group, this queen who submitted her question, you're dependent on our group, right? You've used our group's energy to sustain you and to make the changes in your life, which are pretty fantastic, that you've made over the last 7 months since you've been doing this work with us, right? It's the same idea. So being dependent on a man, okay, what does it mean to you? I don't know why you'd strive. For example, let's go to concrete examples. You can depend on a man to pay the bills. Let's say you're married, okay, or you're looking to marry. The man is willing to support you, is willing to, you know, you can work. Nobody's stopping you from working, right? You can work, you can do whatever you want with your money, or you can contribute a little bit, but he should be the main provider of the family. So in a sense, you are dependent on him. But I don't understand this thing that you're saying, that you gotta make, all of a sudden he's the focus because he pays the bills. I don't understand that. Like, what are you talking about? Your focus would be him. This is what's strange to me, because my spouse does take care of all his manly duties, including paying the bills, but I wouldn't say that my focus in life has shifted. Obviously, I feel I'm contributing to him, I'm committed and loyal to our life together and everything, but I wouldn't say because of that. Do you see what I mean? Like, where does this obligation in your mind form? That you feel that if somebody offers you, a man who loves you, who wants to be in his masculine, offers you this life where you can depend on him, why would he need to be the focus of your life? That's where, guys, so us as women, we're trained not to be in receive mode. Because when you're not in receive mode, you're not in your femininity, you're not creating, you're not using your power in the world. And ultimately, perhaps that's the goal of the way society is structured. I don't want to say of who. So I want you to understand that this is not normal. It's normal as a woman to be in receive mode. And you'll feel better when you're in receive mode and know you're not obligated, and you don't need to switch the focus from your life to that person because they want to give you. That's the ultimate message. Of course, you have an obligation to be loyal to them, to not use anyone, to commit to them, but you got to understand that you're enough. Your presence, your existence is enough for somebody who loves you to want to give you. And they're not giving you so you can make them the center of your life. I mean, a narcissist probably would, but you want to stay away from that. So I hope I was kind of clear on that. Do you guys, what is your experience with you know, is everybody looking for sort of the definition of the ideal man that I describe, which is a protector, provider, prioritizer? Is everybody looking for that? Does everybody feel worthy of that? I don't know about you guys, but I need to be a man's priority, you know, if I'm going to be in a relationship with him. The most important thing is you have to be honest about what you need. See, the way I said that right now, I need, that's what I need. And so any other structure he has in his life where he can't prioritize me right now, maybe he wants to, but he just can't, I can't get involved with that person. Belfast, hi Queen. Oh my God. Let's see. I wanna know what my girlies are saying. I totally am. Okay, so you're all like, my boyfriend asked me to move in and told me he doesn't want me paying at all. He's shifted. Yes. Listen, if again, I don't know why this is, but we are taught to believe that men will find value in what we do for them. Pay attention to this. We're taught to believe that men find value in what you do for them. And the more you do for them, the more he's going to value you. Thank you. But you know, from maybe from your personal experience, maybe from watching the world, that the women who do the most for their men are the women who get treated the worst for some reason. You know, these women, they've done something for men for 25, 30 years in their marriage, and they're treated like crap. And the more they're treated like crap, they try even harder. And I'm not really sure where in our lives we're giving this instruction that the more you do, the more they will love you. Maybe because in our genetic information system, energetic information system, we have this thing that the more we receive, the more we're going to treasure somebody, because this is true, it's evolutionary. But we're projecting that on men, and it's not true of them. In fact, the more you do for them, maybe they'll become dependent on you in some sense, but they will resent you for it. Thank you guys for all the gifts. It's not necessary. And what I want to tell you is that if a man really wants you, you really don't have to do anything except be pleasant to him and loyal to him, commit to him, and love him. This is very hard to accept for some reason. Why is it? Maybe you guys explain to me why it is. But we feel like, oh, but if I cook him dinner every night, or if I do this and this and do his laundry and clean his house, or knock on wood, like how many crazy things you guys do, he's gonna love me more. He's gonna appreciate me more. If I go pick him up from the airport, listen, like that Queen was saying, depending on someone, you don't have time to do all those things because you're focused on you. What if they want us to cook and clean? Under what context? Under the context that they're paying all the bills? Under what context do they want you to cook and clean? You know? I don't know about you guys, but I don't have the time to cook all the... I enjoy cooking, you know, and I eat healthy, like we eat healthy. So in majority we cook. We're on this carnivore diet now, which makes cooking very simple. But I have a life, right? Like, I'm here with you guys. I'm not making lunch. I'm not, you know, I have other stuff to do. I'm cultivating myself. Under what context is he asking you to cook and clean? This is important. Your boyfriend and girlfriend, and you're paying 50-50, and he's asking you to cook and clean. I'm sorry. It's a bit comical then. Last person I dated right away expected that treatment from me. I said no. So sometimes you see what happens to this man. They're not men anymore. What happened to them? Poor guys, you know. Their masculinity was squashed also by society. But I promise you one thing. If you act feminine, you can bring out the masculine out of the man that's really masculine, out of a physical male who's also of masculine gender. That masculinity can always be brought back forward through your behavior. If you take over as his mom, as his cleaning lady, as his this, then you're not bringing forth his masculinity. He's defaulting back to the feminine. You're actually damaging him further. Seriously, I said, are you paying my bills? Do I live with you? Hang on a second. He wasn't paying your bills. You're living with him, and he expected you to cook. Come on, guys. I'd be like, sorry? I'm what? Oh my God. I don't want to cook and clean. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to cook or clean, but expect that in my experience. Just don't do it. Just don't do anything. Just be busy all the time. You know, the guys who are looking to use you guys for free labor, they'll just drop you, which would be a huge blessing. I don't understand. So guys, this is why it's so important to not process a man through your energetic system. By that I mean, do not sleep with them before you determine what they can do for you. Because if you're spending the first month, 2 months of dating sleeping with them and them finding out what you can do for them, then you're the man. You understand? And it depends what you want. Depends what you want, but you can't recover from that energy. It's very damaging for most women, that energy. Let's see. From your grandparents. I want to see if I missed anything. How do I cut energetic spiritual ties with somebody? I decided against my SP, but I keep thinking of him. Are you doing everything in the physical, like in the 3D? Are you dating? Are you developing new interests? Are you working out? You have to physically move. Do a lot of physical walking, working out. What are you doing for yourself to get your mind off of him? That's the first step. Okay, doing things in 3D that are different. The second thing is just, you gotta understand that your decision and your free will cannot be violated in this world. And if you have decided that it's over with somebody, you're going to teach your emotions that it's over with somebody. Okay, your spirit, if that's the will of your spirit to move on, to let go, okay, then every system in you, your physical system, your energetic system, your emotional code system, all of these have to comply eventually with your will. You are in control, and understanding who you are when you are in control is key. You have to understand you are the will. You are the will, that you are the fire that based on which your life is powered. Okay, you're not the body, you're not the emotional code. And I decided, yeah, I might think of him once in a while. Like I said, some relationships end, but you know, like the connection doesn't end. But you're like, no, I don't want this. I already told you. Speak out loud to yourself. I already told you no. I already told you I want to move on. I want to date. I want to see what else is out there. I want to focus on something that is good for me. I do not want to respond. Hey, energetic system, I no longer allow you to respond to toxicity as a form of excitement. Our free will cannot be, no, it cannot. I can't even believe that's a question. Our free will, nobody can override our free will. I mean, God could, but he doesn't want to, or he would have a long time ago, right? Look how much our Creator puts up with in our behavior, because the main rule set of this reality is our free will. If you guys are parents, I always say this. This makes so much sense, because even if I could make my child open her mouth and say exactly what I want her to say, I wouldn't. I wouldn't, because the joy in being a parent is seeing what you would rather do. You understand? Otherwise, it's just a robot. This is why it can't be violated. But your free will can be heavily influenced, and you can mistake energetic systems that tell you to do one thing, or forces in this world that tell you to do one thing, with your free will. So sometimes you're acting on your subconscious programs, and you're thinking that's your free will. Okay, everything I discussed on this live, by the way, this live will be posted on my YouTube channel. All my lives are posted on my YouTube channel. I lost my train of thought on what I was saying. But the programs that run in our subconscious mind and the free will is not the same thing. I was telling that queen, she says, I'm not attracted to a man who's consistent and, you know, I just don't feel chemically attracted to him. I was saying that's because your energetic system has been trained to be attracted, to be excited, to be stimulated by the toxicity of something. And you're calling that your free will. But it's not your free will. It's your program. My free will is deciding what kind of life I want to have. And understanding intellectually what would fit for that life. So if in my life I want to be able to, let's say, wake up whenever I naturally wake up, what I want to do what I love to do, irrespective of the return of it, it follows that I need somebody to provide for me, right? I might make it big, I might not make it big in success, but it follows, right? And then the decision starts with the mind. Like, how can I set up my life so that would happen for me? You understand? And it's not like who can excite me in their toxicity by not messaging me and by me being very excited about their next text, being distracted about what I want to do. That's not good for me. So all this to go to say, the goal of your life has to be precise and clearly defined before you can say, oh, I've exercised my free will. You've exercised your free will in relation to what? In relation to what you felt in the moment? Well, what you felt in the moment might not match your goal. Might not. Do you understand? If your goal is to be married, in the moment you're highly attracted to a guy in a bar, you go home with him, you might waste a year on that guy, disrespecting you and keeping you in this toxicity and high level of overstimulation. And you're very far away from your goal of getting married and being a mom and having kids. Why are so many people not thinking like that? Yeah. Let's see. He wanted a woman that's independent and more masculine and hated that I was feminine. Perfect. Let him want whatever he wants. He wants a man to take care of him. You want a man to take care of him, and he wanted a man to take care of him. That's what I would present it. We both seem to be looking for men to take care of us. Come on, guys. What about men who do pay the bills, but often guilt you about it or use it against you? This is difficult because this doesn't happen overnight. And why I say it's difficult because you've put yourself in this position and accepted this behavior from the first. You have to squash that from the beginning, right? You can't be with a man that you either guilted into paying the bills or it's not in his natural state. And you always have to have something going on for you outside of that man. So the moment he puts some guilt about something, and I'm not saying, you know, like if you went out there and you bought yourself a $3,000 purse, he probably has the right to, if he's on an average salary, he probably has the right to make you feel guilty about it, right? So if you decide to live within a guy's means, you got to live within a guy's means. That's not what I'm suggesting. I'm suggesting a lifestyle in which you contribute, in which you have your own thing going on, even if it's, you know, not returning a lot of income or not returning it, to the point that he knows you always have this thing to fall back on. I'm not advocating women just being completely dependent on men. I'm advocating women, unless, look, he's a basketball player, he makes 10 million a year. Yeah, you know, like, I'm not going to do anything, do some volunteer work. But if he just has a regular salary, he should want to provide for you. That's the key of him wanting. And a guy who wants to will not make you feel guilty about it. That's a guy who doesn't want it to begin with. And you gotta think right now, like, what can I do for myself to not be in this situation? And what you can do is not starting to contribute. It's for him to feel like you can have a different option anytime. Let's see. Anyone have luck with manifesting away skin conditions? I have. Not psoriasis, other things, including acne. It's probably in my body playlist. I can't get into it now. I want to see if there's anything else in manifesting. So guys, the situations, the reason I spend so much time talking about 3D is the situations that you put yourself in are very important, and they affect both your mindset and your ability to manifest. If you're in a toxic relationship, for example, you can try to manifest money all you want, or other areas. Your system might be shut down. You might not be able to lose weight. You might not, because your system is not capable of processing so much at the same time. So if it's processing the daily of a toxic relationship, do not be here and be like, how come I'm not able to lose weight? How come I'm like, your system is busy. It's busy. You're not in a state of flow. Your relationship has to feel like it's flowing. If it's not flowing, it's not good for you. It's just that simple. If you're confused, ask yourself, is it flowing? Is every day feeling good? Okay, now of course you're gonna find that person annoying once in a while. They're gonna find you annoying once in a while. But is it flowing? Is it going? Is he a PPP? Protector, provider, prioritizer. Again, has nothing to do with him being a millionaire. Are you his priority in life? This can happen at any age. At any age, at any level of income. I remember when I was with my university boyfriend, he used to wait for me outside classes when I had evening classes. I never asked him to, but he used to wait there just to be like, okay, well, it's dark out, and he lived on campus, and he's like, I want to walk you to your car or whatever, because I didn't live on campus. And we used to have lunch at the cafe there, and that's all he could afford. But the point is, he wanted to do that. He wanted to buy me a $10 lunch. Get it? So it's not about the money. It's about, does he have a protective element towards you? Is he out there at home on the couch drinking his beer while you're, circulating alone at night? And he's like, okay, see you at home. That's not a protector. That's not, like, the way he sees you in relation to him has to be as him being the protector of you. You understand? If he's not behaving that way, he either doesn't care about you, or you're with another woman, really. You're with a man in his feminine energy. Do you believe in twin flame journey? No. I believe in people having goals and attracting matching elements to those goals. Only you know what goals would make you happy. I think a lot of people pretend in this life that they don't want the things that society tells you shouldn't want. There's a lot of women who crave being stay-at-home wife, stay-at-home mom, and not necessarily forever. I know my cousin, she cried so much she had to go back to work after baby turned 1. She had to go back to work, and she wished she didn't have to. Not having that option to stay another year at home. I don't assume that any woman would be like, yeah, I don't want to have an option. I want to be back at. All women want to be protected financially, protected by their men. I can't imagine somebody would say, no, I don't want that. Is there anything else? Or I hope you guys can take something from this lives. Do you believe in reincarnation? I personally believe in reincarnation. I know that goes against the religions, and I started this live on how my teachings don't go against religion. I don't teach reincarnation. That's or thoughts on it. I personally believe in it. I believe we come back until we learn the lessons. But you don't have to believe that to be able to have the life you want on this earth, thinking that you'll never come back, and you have to return an experience into the continuum that matches a moral and equitable life. So it doesn't really matter whether I believe in reincarnation or not. I'm trying hard to manifest a job that fulfills me and getting out of a toxic job just to survive. Focus on what you would want to do, and what would it take to get you there. Okay, Sandra? I was in a toxic corporate job. I actually enjoyed my corporate job a lot up to like 2 years prior to it ending. It ended in like 2015. And I haven't gone back to corporate since. But last 2 years was pretty miserable, you know, and the way I thought of it, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do the corporate environments. Things were changing even back then. And what do I need? What do I want to do? So that's number one. You can't just be like, I need another job, because another job could bring you the same exact thing. So I was like, this is what I want my life to be. I want to earn this much money, which is more than what I was making. I want to be my own boss. I want to, like, I made a list with what I wanted. Okay. What I wanted my day, how I want to contribute to the world. And with that list, I was like, okay, I actually have a business idea. I have something that I want to do. But I need, let's see. Sorry, they asked me for a verification for this live. Okay, so where was I? Yeah, so I basically had an idea, and I was like, I'm gonna need $50,000 to make this happen, right? Because I need to not work for a few months, and I need some money investment in this, and you know, that's a calculation I was doing in my head. I need $50,000, and within 3 months of me making that decision and started to envisioning myself in that life, my corporate job actually gave me a severance pay. They were restructuring everything, that the net pay was $52,000. So it's $52,000 in my bank account. And so I knew, this was in like 2014, 2015. And so I knew right then and there, it was like at the beginning of my journey in this kind of information and manifestation. I'm like, this thing works. Now I better make something with it. I better do what I said I'm going to do with this money. I better rejoice in the fact that this came to pass and that I have this goal and I'm going to make this happen. So that's, Sandra, that's how I did it. I didn't do it being like, this is a toxic job. This was like, I did it more like, okay, what would I rather do? How would I rather contribute? Let's see. Thoughts on purging versus having it now. What does that mean? Purging what? He wants kids, but I don't due to his financial instability. I need more fulfillment than he can give. Okay, that doesn't seem to be a dilemma. So you see, guys, when he wants kids, but you know he's financially unstable, he doesn't fulfill you. You are the man in the relationship, really. You're probably making the plans and doing all these things. He can want kids. He can want whatever he wants. He also wants probably a threesome at some point in his life. This doesn't mean, what do you want? Who cares about what he wants? Why are you in the situation where you're not fulfilled and he's financially unstable? Guys, do not date financially unstable men. There's no dilemma in this question. He wants kids, but I don't due to his financial instability. Why are you with him? Why are you closing your future about having kids with a financially stable man? No man should be dating if he is financially unstable, honestly. No man without a job, no man in between jobs, no man who can't provide the basics of life, right? Because look, when you meet him, he should have a place, he should be able to buy food, he should be able to have everything. So when you come in his life, really, if you moved into his home, he should be able to provide for you, right? At his level. But if he's financially unstable, if he needs to, he's like, oh, can you help me out with rent? Or what are you guys talking about? It's not a dilemma at all. What counts as free will? Your intention, desires, or your actions? The free will, your actions are probably not free will, okay? Because your actions happen on programs. Your desires and your goals count as your free will. And now you have to ask yourself, are you able to bring them forth and exercise your free will in your actions such that you are closer to your goals or not? This is what I was saying. When your goal is to be married and you have a desire to have children, and you meet a guy in a bar and he's really hot and you decide to sleep with him, do you think that is your free will? Or do you think that is a program that's running in the background that's telling you to do that? Because making this action is taking you further away from your desire and your goal. But for that, you can't live life randomly. You have to have desires and goals. We are not mothers to grown men. Yeah, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing, guys. It's embarrassing to mother men. Why you guys do it? Why do you do it? Why do you pay the bills and wash their clothes and clean? Like, why? They don't find you valuable based on what you do for them. They find you valuable based on how you value yourself. That speak the truth that men can only be loved based on their ability to provide. No, they can only be loved based on their willingness to provide. Right? So, again, this is not about looking for millionaires. You can decide you love a man and you want to live within his means. But if he's not willing to be like, come live with me, I will get another job if I don't have enough money to feed us. If, you know, his attitude is not that. If his attitude is not, I want you to do whatever you want to do in your life. Whatever you want to do, I'm okay with it. You know, my fiance is not some multimillionaire. Yeah, he has a high-paying job and everything, but he's not some multimillionaire or anything like that. But he wants me to have freedom in my life to do what I want. And I have my own thing and my own money and I run business and, you know, but the income from that I have is not necessary, or it's not expected. Let me see, guys, please don't call me. In order for him to value me. That's really what we're looking for. It's his willingness to provide. And meanwhile, in parallel, I'm not looking for some millionaire so I have more things. That's not it. I'm completely like, him wanting me to have the life I want is so important. Like, it's so, like, it makes me respect him so much. And I don't care if we just get to live in the house that we have for the rest of our lives and we're never gonna have anything bigger and with 5 fireplaces and pools, and because it's just so endearing. This thing, like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, Mona. Just don't worry about it. Just do your thing. Do what makes you happy. I would say every woman wants that, Eric. They value based on what you can do for them, not based on who you are. Was that from a man? Thank you, Mark. I'm very pretty. And you want him to have what he wants. Well, he better want me, or he better not be with me. You understand? If I'm not what he wants, he better not be with me and not waste my time. I should be what he wants. If what he wants is to sit on the couch and drink beer, that's not a fully formed individual. A man's family parents love him with no regard to if he can provide. Exactly. And I'm not his mother. I'm not his family. That way, you know, I'm not his mother. The point is, guys, I'm gonna talk to men because I see some men are creeping on my lives. This is a live for women primarily, but I don't mind, okay? I used to have a relationship account. I kind of deleted that because I didn't want people to be confused. You know, I have some spam accounts. By the way, guys, I don't contact anybody. If you get a message from me, it's not from me, it's spam. So in somehow the audience on that account was mostly men. For some reason. And I always told men, you need to be a protector, provider, prioritizer. And what I found as I was talking to men was they had no problems with that. They were telling me, hey, Mona, we just can't find a woman that we want to do those things for. Based on whatever they see on, you know, in women, whatever they want, right? So this is what the way I answer to this person is like, if I'm not what he wants, he doesn't have to do anything for me. Right? But I find, do you men have a problem being a provider, protector, prioritizer for a woman you love? Do you have a problem with that? Like, I wanna hear from men. Men value women based on what women can do for them. Yeah, those are men who, you know, they see women as mothers. They don't value women based on what women can do for them. Unless you mean sexually. Because then, you know, the women who would be treated the best would be the women who cook and clean and do everything. Like, you know, I have family members who've done that for men, and men treat them like, at best, with indifference after 30 years, 20 years together, at best. So it depends what you mean value. You mean it's like, maybe he feels good, but he doesn't show her any value. Okay, this was an interesting discussion. We're going to end here. You guys know my email. If you have a question, I do address some of the emails I get on the lives if I feel it would be beneficial for everybody. Alana, I started your 60-day challenge and watched your SP playlist a lot. I manifested the dream man. It works. Thank you. Of course it works. Guys, I told you, because the way you know it works is you look at my life and you look, obviously it works, right? I have videos on body playlist of how I maintained the same exact weight for 2 years, exact to the decimal point. You know, I shaped my body the way I wanted. I got the same engagement ring that I put on the board from my SP when I let go of the SP and when I was focusing on myself. You know, financially, I'm okay. Career-wise, I do what I want. You know, I do more than one thing. I love to contribute. So, you know, when you listen to somebody who's giving advice in this manners, look at their lives, you know? Their lives like, oh, you know, I manifested $1 million from selling manifestation guides. That doesn't count. That doesn't count. By the way, like, that's probably a lie. I barely made any money doing this. Like, it's not where it comes from. It comes from, because if you're doing this from your heart, the universe returns, right? But if that's all they're been able to manifest, you know, just having a lot of sales, you know, but not while they're teaching people how to manifest. That's not, like, look at their relationship status, look at their body, look at, like, many things. Do not be dazzled by money and by material things, what people can achieve, because all of these you will be given. I want to win the lottery tomorrow, out of the blue, like this. How to do that, please? Thank you. Guys, start focusing on yourself. Ask not what the universe can do for you. First, you got to give the universe the most authentic version of yourself, and then it will all be added onto you. Our group is very lucky in the lottery. The most I've ever manifested in a lottery was about $8,700, but I win like 8 tickets out of 10, and my queens win also. When you want something, you're very far away from it. Okay? Your goal can never be, I want to win the lottery. If that's your goal in 3D, the potential of that to happen is the potential that 3D allows, which is whatever, 1 in a billion. If what you want is a life that is matched by a lot of money, and you set your goals, once I have $50 million, how would I be living? And then drop the $50 million. Just be like, how would I be living? This is the house I want. This is what I want to do for my mom. This is the car I would be driving, and stay in that focused energy. It could come from the lottery, but it's never for tomorrow. There's a very famous lottery winner who wrote herself a check for $112 million the day of the draw of $112 million, and she won it, and she knew she won it. That's what people remember about her story, but her story is, for 6 years before that, she had trained her mind that she's always a winner and that she's a jackpot winner. 6 years, not tomorrow. 6 years she's trained her mind, and she stayed in that winning mindset. In those 6 years, a lot of disastrous things happened to her. One of which was her brother. Her name is Cynthia Stafford, by the way, if you want to look her up. Her brother, something happened to her brother, and she had to take in the 4 children that her brother had and raise them as her own children, okay, while she was poor. So the universe, while you want to be super rich, the jackpot winner, a millionaire, a multimillionaire, the universe will give you these challenges and be like, yeah, so you're a millionaire now, right? Will you take care of 4 children? Will you take them on? Oh no, I can't, I'm poor, I can't make ends meet right now. And when I'm a millionaire, maybe. No, that's not what she did. I'm a jackpot winner. I will be able to take care of these kids because I am a winner. 6 years. So one day, the story is one day she woke up, and I'm sorry they only showed this part of the story. So she woke up, she's like, I'm winning today. She turned on the TV, or she looked it up, and the jackpot was 112. She took a checkbook, wrote herself a check for 112, and that night she won it. That's how she done it. She didn't do it by saying, I want to win the lottery tomorrow. Do you understand? You have to pass all the tests that are given to you, and it might take you years to rewrite your mind. It can be done though. Oh, thanks, Rox. Your daughter's fortunate to have you. Imagine having a mindset from you. How much more successful. Yeah, my daughter's already manifested so many things. And like I teach her about her mindset. Every time she says something, that I know is affecting the subconscious, I tell her and I explain to her why. And I think if your parents take at least this from it. Do not say this. When you say something negative about yourself, always say 3 positive things. That's what I teach children, okay? So one thing is like, oh, sometimes you let it out. Oh, God, I'm so stupid. Hang on a second. I just gave my subconscious instruction to act stupid. And so I tell her to undo it. You say 3 times, I'm so smart, I'm so smart, I'm so smart. So they learn these practices, these little things. And they go against the world just by having this awareness in them. They're like, okay. Thank you so much for saying that. All right. I think that's it. I went way over today. That's because I haven't done a second live in a week, in like a couple of weeks now. So I want to give you guys as much value as possible. Do the 60-day challenge in my bio, or continue to do it, or do it again if you've already done it. I only have 1 product. Again, I don't message anybody. I don't message people. Don't fall for scams. I don't do any readings, tarots, numbers, any of that stuff. It's all in the mindset. Put your hands together for the 369. This is how we end our lives, every live on Monday. 1 breath together. I am a winner. 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 I am a winner.